Since this is an astronomy class, let's talk about some examples of how you can see the knowledge that the Mayans had about astronomy in their cities. So we really talk about the calendar, and to know how to build these calendars, they have to know how the sun works. And we talk about how religion was so important. It was connected to everything in life, a lot of celebrations, a lot of activities connected to religion and astronomy. Therefore, their cities were built to be able to do these celebrations and demonstrate this knowledge of the skies. So I'm going to just show you different cities and some of their astronomy features in the cities. You're going to visit a new one on your cruise. Ask the guide what can he or she show you about astronomy in that city. The picture you see on the screen right now is Chichen Itza. It's probably the most famous and popular Mayan city in anywhere, and it's one of the 7 new wonders of the world. I don't know if you know there are 7 wonders of the world, and they were designated wonders of the world not too long ago. I think it's been about 20 years, and you could actually call a number and vote. And I actually called and voted for Chichen Itza. The Statue of Liberty was one of the finalists, but didn't make it to the last 7. But anyway, this is it's called El Castillo. It's the main pyramid in Chichen Itza. So a few things about this pyramid and many places around Mesoamerica is that often pyramids are built on top of other pyramids. So you had the ruler of the city built a pyramid, and then there is a new ruler, and he's gonna say, hey, I'm bigger and better, so they will build the pyramid on top of the pyramid. So this is an example of how they build the pyramid on their pyramid. When I was a little kid, you could go inside a door right by the steps. Let me see if I have right here by the steps, and you go up the tunnel you see on the bottom to a little room where they have a jaward and a chakmol. Chakmol is the name of these sculptures. You may see people selling them in souvenir stores. They will put sacrifices, jewels, human hearts on these things. And then they build the pyramid on top. And the astronomy here is really, really cool. So you see the stairs, there are these little triangles by the stairs going up, and all the way to the bottom, you see heads of snake. One of their main bigger goals in the Mayan culture was Kukulkan, which was a serpent god. So on the equinoxes, you should know what an equinox is by now. On the equinoxes, the shade of the edge of the pyramid, you can see that shade on the sides of the steps, and little by little as the sun moves into the equinox, you see the giant serpent descend. And so you have the heads in the bottom. Only on those 2 days, or mainly on those 2 days, is the biggest effect. You can see the serpent go down in the shade of the pyramid. Let me go to another city. I mentioned Palenque. It's one of my favorite cities. The pyramid on the left, it was actually a tomb for King Pakal. I already told you about that king when we were talking about the worldview and the ceiba tree. So that picture, it's actually not a picture, it's they call them estelas. It's a sculpted image. This huge stone that was put on top of his tomb as he was descending to the infra world. One of the cool things about this is that that stone is so big that it wouldn't fit into the tunnel to go down to the tomb. So that means that they build the tomb first, and they build the pyramid on top of it. The ruins you see on the picture on your right is part of Palenque, and you see a tower. So that whole complex was an observatory. So how did they know so much about astronomy? They had no electricity and all the time in the world. So they built places like this to study the skies. And this is a great example of that. This is Tulum. That was the first video that you saw in this series. I mentioned that on the equinoxes, the sun is exactly between, or the sun is right in the direction of two windows in the pyramid, the two main windows. And what happens when that happens is that the sun bounces within the pyramid, and also the effect on the other side, you see this really cool shine. So Tulum will do it. There is another city called Divishaltun that is called to Progreso, close to Progreso, where you're going to stop. It does the same thing. So you see the pyramid in the back. Only on the equinoxes, the sun is exactly behind those two windows, and it has an effect. And in this case, it has a cool shadow on the big stone you see there. I've been to see all of these things happen in Chichen Itza and Tulum and the Vishaltun. We went in high school to the Vishaltun, and we were being silly high school students because there was a lot of new age people there charging their stones, and so we just stood right next to them with batteries pretending to charge our batteries. Again, we were silly right then. So these are some examples of astronomy happening in the Mayan world. I'm not sure if your cruise is gonna stop in Cozumel. Often they do, but Mayan structures that you find around the Yucatan Peninsula in Guatemala are not always these huge pyramids. Sometimes there are little complexes that they build really well, and you can still see them. In Cozumel, you can see little pyramids like these ones, where Mayans used to live. Probably had a city. It's an island, so it will be harder to get materials from other places. So again, wherever you go, ask the guide, what can you learn about astronomy by the way they built that city? Really quick, just to finish, we talk about the history of the Mayans, where they are located, the history, the different periods. But I want to show you these two pictures. On the right is the Aztec calendar. Now, one of the reasons I'm mentioning this is that you're going to go to souvenir stores, and because they assume tourists don't know, often they're going to tell you, this is the Mayan calendar. This is not the Mayan calendar. This is the Aztec calendar. This is one of the Mayan calendars, and you can buy this one as well, right? This is, more than anything, is showing you the different months that they have in their solar calendar. So that's the Mayan calendar. This is the Aztec calendar. But the reason I'm showing you the Aztec calendar, because it's a different culture, right? Connected and influenced by each other, but it's a different culture, is that when we said it's a Mayan calendar before, and especially this one, the Aztec calendar, it's not like our calendars, right? It's like, okay, this is March, and I have a birthday on the 27th. It's not like you can find specific dates. It's a calendar because it's talking about time. And it's a calendar because it's talking about the four creations. You can see the four squares in the middle of that circle, the four creations that Mesoamerica cultures believed. The outside rims are two serpents that come together in the bottom, the heads, and it's day and it's night. The squares that you see, not right in the middle, but if you see there is like a ring with squares, those were months. So you see time elements here. But it's a calendar because you see time, but more than anything, this is a worldview. In this case, this is how the Aztecs will see the world. The time, the periods, the sun god in the in the middle, this is the worldview of the Mayans, right? The Ceiba tree, the heavens, the infra world. And I like to use this circle because as you go and learn about the Mayan culture, Asian Mayans, see if you can meet any current Mayans. I just put it next together to this concept that I found about culture, right? In the very core of this is our worldview. Now, for us as Christians, our worldview is that there's only one God. He sent his son to die for us in the cross. And thanks to that sacrifice and his resurrection, we can be good. We can find righteousness and be with God. That is our worldview. When you see pictures like this Aztec calendar or the Pacal going into the infraworld stela, you can see the Asian Mayan worldview. That's how they see the world. But then, any culture that you study, you're going to see, well, there's a culture has values, right? This is what is right and this is what is wrong. This has morals, the acceptable behaviors. There are social rules and customs. This is how you eat. This is how you greet each other. And all the way to the outside, you see the things that are easy to see. How people dress, how they move, how they behave. Do they speak Mayan? Do they speak Spanish? Do they speak Chinese? Whatever it is, as a learner of culture, really to understand culture, and it's not easy. You read, you talk to people, you experience as much as you can, so you can understand the center, the values and the worldview of the people. Those are the harder to find, but the more rewarding to find. In the Mayan and Aztec cultures, we have these pictures that tell us how they see the world. You're gonna go to at least one different country and talk to the people, talk to locals, talk to people that they're not paid to serve you, right? Just any other outside of the cruise. Have those conversations so you can learn more about culture. One last thing before I say goodbye, I really recommend you visit this website and read as many pages in that website as you can. It just talks a lot about Mayan culture. It's going to give you more details on the calendar and visuals. I explain it a little bit. I'm assuming you're still a bit confused. Go read a little bit here. Read about astronomy. And in that page, they have information about modern day Mayans and what do they do and what do they believe and how do they still keep some of the traditions from the Asian Mayans. So visit this website, learn as much as you can. It's in English and it's simple. And the website looks old, but the information is there and it's good information. I want to put this link on the Google site where we have all these videos, so you can go directly there or you can just use your phone. You know what to do. Again, thank you for listening to all these videos. I know a couple of them got a little bit long, but if we were in the classroom, we would have spent an hour and a half talking about all those things. So you got the express version that you can take with you. You can take with you. All of these videos are on YouTube. I put them together on the page so you can access them in one page. Have a blessed trip. Have a wonderful time. Learn all you can about astronomy. Learn all you can about the Mayans. And you have the privilege to do all of that while you're having fun and being safe on the cruise. Have a wonderful 2024. I hope to meet you in person sometime in Abilene. And with that, I will say goodbye.